Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the latest edition of the Mayor's Corner. It is a beautiful May day here in the city. So happy May, everybody. I can't believe we're here at May. So what's going on? So we got a big weekend coming up. So Saturday is May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. As you know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so that's a big day for me. May the 4th be with you. And then Sunday we have Cinco de Mayo, so I hope you guys can get out and celebrate Cinco de Mayo. I'm sure I'll be making appearances at PortMedia at some point. Actually, I'm away this weekend, so maybe Sunday night I'll get to PortMedia. Tons going on in the city. We had a huge city council meeting on Monday, so let's just talk. I'm going to try to get to everything and hopefully a really condensed, shortened time here. First, I want to say that we've got some road work coming up on Route 1, right? So we've been working on the rotary at Route 1, right, at the bottom of State Street. That's a state project. They're working on that, but there's some road work coming up. It's going to start on Sunday, and it's going to go Sunday to Sunday, so the 5th to the 12th. And I just want you to be aware, especially if you live in that area, it's going to be night work, and it's happening from like Pomodori to like the light at Low Street and Route 1. So just giving you a heads up. If you want to get more specific, go to our website. It's already up on there, and you can check out the construction schedule for that work. But they're working on repaving that part of Route 1. So it's going to be great when it's done, but we've got a week of some night work happening there. Saturday, it'll be a year since the sequence explosion in the industrial park, which is just crazy. That year just flew by. That was obviously a terrifying night here in Newburyport. Someone lost their life. Our thoughts and prayers still go out to Jack O'Keefe from Methuen. But after a year, the building's up for sale, and hazardous chemicals won't be processed and used there anymore. So at the end of it, we're coming out, I think, a little bit better for the safety of Newburyport, and we'll just have to keep an eye on that sale and see who comes in there next. So there's a space open down in the industrial park. What else is going on? So like I said, we had a big city council meeting the other night. It actually lasted 3.5 hours, got done just before 10:30. And then we had to have an executive session to talk about some things. And that lasted until after midnight. It was 12:30. And then I got home and I couldn't sleep. So I literally lost a whole night of sleep because we were here so late. And there was a lot of stuff happening. So let's talk about what happened in the meeting itself. A lot of good things happened in the meeting too. So first, the city council approved the ARPA, the use of the rest of the ARPA funds that we had. And I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. That was like the study for Marquand Lane, looking at drainage issues on Marquand Lane in the West End. That was money for the Lower Atkinson at the Pioneer Fields safety project that we're going to complete. That was $700,000 to go to the Phillips Drive project to make up kind of the little shortfall that we have there to finish that project. So those were all really good things, and the rest of it we're putting towards streets and sidewalks. So that was great. Not a ton of discussion. I think the ad hoc committee and then the committee discussions went well, so that was approved unanimously, which was great. And then CPC projects, and that's the longer list, about $1.9 million worth of projects. On there, you had the rock tower at Atkinson Common. You had the other part of funding for the Lower Atkinson Pioneer Fields safety project, getting those cars off Merrimack Street. You had the Knock tennis courts. We're going to put brand new tennis courts down there and finish kind of our tennis-only facility down there at the Knock Middle School, which is really exciting. So that got through, and then a basketball court down in redoing the basketball court down Woodman Park down at the bottom of Crow Lane. And that's just a couple of the projects. The Custom House had something on there. The UU Church had something on there. So a lot of great projects. If you want to see exactly what was approved, you can go on the website and check that out. Community Preservation Committee. But again, $1.9 million of projects, and we're excited to get started on those next year. It's really going to help the city in a lot of ways. The solid waste contract was submitted. Shout out to Molly Ettenborough for all her work on that. That'll get sent to, I believe, Public Safety and Budget and Finance, some sort of mix of the two. So we'll look forward to hearing that. But we're looking to stick with Mello, our current contractor. They were the accepted bid. So we'll kind of see how we go there. The Zoning Advisory Committee submitted 2 options. Again, shout out to Andy Port for all his work on this. Again, this is trying to meet MBTA communities by the end of the year. I think we have a really great couple options for the council to consider. Now, at this point, it's up to the council, right? So the Zoning Advisory Committee did their job. They're not looking at Story Ave right now. We're just focusing around that 40R area to meet our MBTA communities requirements. And so I think we've got two great options. And so we'll have to wait and see what the city council has to say about that. But hey, like I said, we are in a great spot when it comes to that compared to some of the districts around the Commonwealth. So again, thanks for all the hard work on that. And then we talked about Port Rec, right? And so it's funny, Port Rec technically was anticlimactic in that we could have already gone on and done construction documents, right? Because that was approved last year. But we wanted to get a handle or a sense of where the committee was at right now around design. Submitting this was a way to get the council to look at design and kind of weigh in. So I guess what we learned from all that is that I would say, in a project that we need two eight-person votes, right? We need eight votes on the zoning and 8 votes on whatever the funding mechanism is for this project. This really #1 project, I believe, in the city right now is a home for Newburyport Recreation and Youth Services. The 2 8 votes will come down to, so what I think we are right now in our 11-person school city council, I believe we're probably at 6-5 right now. I think we heard 5 pretty vocal councilors against the project, and not so much against. I think they all have their reasons for against it. I think some people are just against it, and I think they'll be against any project down there. I think others are still very concerned with the cost, which is why it's so important we're moving on to construction document phase, because that will get us to more concrete numbers. Again, it's going to take 6 months to get to construction document phase, but that will allow us to get to the planning board for site plan review, and it's also going to allow us to get to the Conservation Commission. So 2 things that have to happen anyway. So I guess I say at the end of the day, as frustrated I think as we all are of how long this process has taken, at least these are all things that we would have to be doing if the project, let's say, got approved last year, right? So again, we're moving forward. So how do we get those people on board? I think that's the million or the $7.8 million question, right? So on the administrative side, we're going to continue to work to find additional funding for this project to kind of bring down whatever kind of burden or whatever kind of ask that I'll be asking from taxpayers. I want to make that as minimal as possible, and I think we have some ways to do that. We're not ready to come forward with that yet, but that's what we're working on. It was also floated about a debt exclusion. I don't think that's off the table. It's not my preference to talk about it right now because we don't know what the final cost is yet, but that's certainly something we can talk about. And it'll be a big campaign. If we go that route, we'll get out there and we'll try to get out the vote, just like we just went through. It'll be a special election that we'll bring to voters for this project. But again, I think we did have a lot of good conversation. And so at the end of the day, I think we kind of know where some councilors stand right now, and now we still have the green light to move forward. And that next piece of the puzzle too will be the zoning piece. And we're gonna bring that zoning piece in next. So that'll be the next city council meeting. We'll submit that zoning piece for the rec center at 59 Low Street, because that allows us, once you get into that process, that's how you get the planning board site review and the Conservation Commission involved as well. So that's why that zoning piece is why that's happening next. And then if we get through all that and then we get to construction docs, and then that's when we're going to get to the meat of it, right? It'll be then time to talk about funding, because we're going to be ready to go at that point. So that's when we're going to have to lock down the funding. So that's my timeline. I'm still encouraged. I know sometimes it's hard because it is such a long process. But I still believe that we're going to get this done and we're going to find a way to do it. And like I said, it's going to be a minimal impact to taxpayers. So that's what we're going to try to do. So that's Port Rec. What else was going on? So like the budget is just about to be submitted, right? So that also happens the first meeting in May for the city council, is I submit the FY25 budget. The school committee voted on their budget on Monday in a special meeting. And they didn't end up exactly where I wanted them to, but we did get to where we needed to be, I think, to work for our city budget. It's going to be a very modest budget this year. I've kind of said this all along. With reduced revenues at the state level, we can't expect those big bumps that we've got in the past. So I really wanted my team here at the city to come up with a thoughtful budget that's strategic and moves us forward, but is not a huge increase, right? We don't have a lot of big asks this year. We want to just keep doing a lot of the good things that we're doing, but also move us forward. The same with the schools. I don't think the schools had a lot of very strategic things, like the Pathways grant, like the partnership for vocational pathways as well for kids. Like those are all things that baked into the budget. But at the end of the day, they came up with a 4.5 city allocation increase from last year, which I think is really going to help us move forward. So that's the budget. So I'm excited about that. That's a long process. Once it starts in May, it goes all the way through June. But I think, like I said, I want to thank all my department heads for all their hard work, and especially Ethan Manning in the finance department for putting it all together. But I think we've put together a thoughtful budget that moves us forward as a city this year. Street work is continuing around the city. You see the parklets, outdoor dining will be coming soon. I think the parklets are all set up now throughout the city, which is great. We've got our 2 new universally accessible playgrounds that we've got to stay off right now because we're finishing the surfacing. So I went by them both today. We got to keep people off them probably another week, but we'll let you know when those open back up. But those are going to be great when they're completed. I want to thank everyone for coming out for Clean Sweep. That's the Port Parks Alliance organized that. We had people all across our parks across the city cleaning up last Saturday. My son and I were at Perkins Playground. We bagged about 20 plus bags of leaves along with Newburyport Pickleball. They helped out as well. So a lot of great work was done all across the city. So thank you for coming out on a beautiful day. We have our Boards and Commissions Fair. We did it last year. It was very positively accepted. And so we wanted to do it again. So we're doing our Boards and Commissions Fair. This is where you can come to City Hall. It's on May 9th, Thursday, upstairs, 6 to 7:30. You can learn all about our boards and commissions. You can see where we have vacancies. All the boards and commissions will have a table upstairs. I think it's 18 plus different tables will be set up upstairs. And you're going to hear directly from the volunteers that play such a vital role in our local government here in Newburyport. So we're excited about that. I love getting people involved. Just a couple last 2 things. Next week on May 9th, so same day as the Board and Commissions Fair, May 9th, Mother's Day is coming up. So if you're looking to shop around town, one of my favorite nonprofits, Runway for Recovery, is doing kind of a pop-up pre-shopping Love Local event on In Street, okay? And that's going to take place from 3:30 to 5:30. So all you dads out there looking to take the kids out and shop for mom for Mother's Day, head down to In Street. There's going to be lots of vendors there. You can get your shopping done then. Really great event. Runway for Recovery is just an awesome nonprofit located here in Newburyport, so I'm happy to give them a shout out. And then tonight I'm going to the Knock for the Matilda opening night, all right? So good luck to Scarlett DeJordy, good luck to Nora Baker, and all the cast and crew of Matilda. We'll be down there tonight to root you on. It's Thursday night, Friday night, and then there's a matinee on Saturday. Get out and see these kids. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a great show. And that's my Mayor's Corner this week. I hope everyone has a great week. Get out there and enjoy the weather. I've got to head to Hartford for a volleyball tournament this weekend, but I will see you all on Monday and on the next Mayor's Corner.